Be reading from the book of Numbers, chapter 12 to chapter 15. Bear with me as I try to get through this. Y'all willing? The book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 1. Now Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moshe. Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moshe because of the Cushite woman whom he had taken, for he had taken a Cushite woman. So they was mad about Moshe taking this Cushite woman. And if you don't know the history of a Cushite woman, it's worth doing the history of the Cushite, the Cush, and the siblings of the Cush, of the Cushites, and you will see what kind of woman this was. Verse 2, and they said, has Yahuwah spoken only? And I'm shocked, not too shocked by Aaron, but yeah, he should know better. Has Yahuwah only spoke through Moses? Has Yahuwah only spoke through Moshe? Has he not also spoken through us? And Yahuwah heard it. Yahuwah heard this. Verse 3, and the man Moshe was very humble. Moses was very humble. Moses was a very humble individual. And the man Moses was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. So Moses was the most humble man on the face of the earth. So we know Solomon was the wisest who lived in his time. Clearly, Moses was the most humbled man who lived in his time. So that's something to note and keep in mind as well. Just as easy as we can remember Solomon being the wisest who lived in his time, you have to put Moses up there as being the most humble who lived in his time. Moses was the most humbled who lived in his time. So that's something to keep in mind. This is the book of Numbers where it says this. The book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 3. And the man Moses was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. More than all men who were on the face of the earth. So it literally says this. Verse 4, and suddenly Yahuwah said to Moses and Aaron and Miriam, so he said this to all three of them, so all of them can hear. You three come out to the tent of appointment. So the three came out. So yeah, the Most High was about to get with him. He was about to get with Miriam and Aaron, for their nonsense. Verse 5, and Yahuwah came down in the column of a cloud. Interesting. And Yahuwah came down in the column of cloud and stood in the door of the tent. Stood in the door of the tent. Interesting. And called Aaron and Miriam, and they both went forward. Called Aaron and Miriam, and they both went forward. Verse 6, and he said, hear now my words. This is the Most High speaking. Hear now my words. If your prophet is of Yahuwah, I make myself known to him in a vision. If your prophet is of Yahuwah, I make myself known to him in a vision, and I speak to him in a dream. This is his prophets. These are his prophets. He make himself known to them in a vision, and he speaks to them in dream. If a prophet hasn't been visited by the Most High in vision, or visited or spoken to by the Most High through a dream, that's not a prophet of the Most High. That's not a prophet of the Most High. So this is how we know who's a prophet of the Most High, when they have a vision that was shown to them or revealed to them, or the Most High was revealed to them in that vision. And they were spoken to in a dream. If neither of the two happen, you can write off all these prophets who claim to be prophets and who claim to have been prophets. Because this is clearly what he's saying, how he moves and how he presents himself to a prophet, and what makes a prophet. In the book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 6. And he said, "Hear now my words. If your prophet is of Yahuwah, I make myself known to him in a vision, and I speak to him in a dream." And that's another place, but we're in the book of Numbers, where he's clearly speaking about, how he make himself known to them in a vision, like, meaning he's going to make himself known, his name, likely his name known to them. He's going to likely make his name known to them. He's going to likely, make his attributes known to them, what's like what he's about and what you should be about, what he's for, what he hates and what he likes. He's going to make that known to you in a vision. This is what a prophet should know. The name of the Most High, and what he likes and what he dislikes. This is how he makes himself known to you. Now, in dream, he speaks to you. In dream, he speaks to you. That's where it gets tricky. And you may see things in a dream that happen the next day. I've experienced this. I tell you no lie. The Most High is a witness of this, that I was given dreams, and I'm not the only one. I'm sure other people out there had dreams, and those dreams happened in the near future. I can count at least twice that happened to me. And I don't go boasting about being prophetic or any of that. Many people can prophesy, just like the previous chapter. The previous chapter, where Moses had to tell Joshua, like, yo, it's the will of the Most High for everyone to prophesy. He had to tell Joshua that in the prior chapter, in chapter 11. where he says, chapter 11 of Numbers, verse 29. And then Moses said to him, are you jealous for my sake? Oh, that all the people of Yahuwah were prophets, that Yahuwah would put his spirit upon them. So if you're doing the will of the Most High and you're a spiritual child of his and you're following the instructions of his and you're observing and guarding his commands and doing your best to obey his spiritual laws, his government, his spiritual government, the laws of his spiritual government, following the examples of his only begotten son, demonstrations of his only begotten son, teachings of his only begotten son, you're going to eventually experience this dream I just spoke of, these dreams, this vision where he reveals himself, the dream where he speaks to you. If not, verse 7. So verse 6, let me go back to verse 6. Verse 6, and he said, hear now my words. If your prophet is of Yahuwah, I make myself known to him in a vision, and I speak to him in a dream. Verse 7, not so with my servant Moshe. He is trustworthy in all my house. So he's basically telling them like, yo, Moses is different. Moses is, is special. Not so with my servant Moses. He is trustworthy in all my house. Verse 8, I speak with him mouth to mouth and plainly and not in riddles. And he sees the form of Yahuwah. So why were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moshe? So he's like, yo, man, Moses is different from all of you, everyone on earth at this time. Moses is different. Don't you ever put yourself in the same category as Moses, is basically what he was saying to Miriam and Aaron. Don't you ever put yourself in the same category as Moses. Like, I speak with him mouth to mouth and plainly and not in riddles. And he sees the form of Yahuwah. So why were you not afraid to speak against him? To speak against my servant Moshe? This is what he asks them. Verse 9, and the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against them, and he left. So Most High stormed off like he was disgusted. Before he got any furious than he already was, he dismissed himself. He exited. Stormed off in his way. In his royal way. You know what I mean? And that's what happened next. Verse 10. And the cloud turned away from above the tent. And look, Miriam was leprous, as white as snow. So that's the form. That's what leprous. That's the appearance of being a leprous. Is being white as snow. And Aaron turned toward Miriam, and look, a leper. So Aaron turned to his sister and see that she was a leper. She was white as snow. And it scared them. Because obviously she wasn't white as snow. Obviously she wasn't white at all. And so this scared Aaron. This is how the Most High left her. Like, this is your punishment for upsetting me, for challenging my servant Moses. Verse 11, and Aaron said to Moshe, oh, my master, please do not hold against us the sin in which we have done foolishly and in which we have sinned. So now he humbles himself when he needs Moses' help to, basically change the mind of the Most High. Turn back the wrath of the Most High as usual. Verse 12, please do not let her be as one dead when coming out of its mother's womb, which our flesh have consumed. So this is him describing how the appearance of a newborn, if you know, the appearance of a newborn is like pale. It's like all newborns come out with this pale skin. Not pale, but you know what I mean. It's like a white coated skin. It's caked up from whatever, whatever they've been in causes their skin to look white or caked up in a certain in a way. So this was that's the appearance of a leper. The same appearance of a newborn, where their skin is caked up and white. That's the appearance of a leper. And this was the appearance of Miriam after she and Aaron challenged Moses, and the Most High hearing about it and checking him about it, and punishing her about it. He didn't have to do anything to Aaron. He let Aaron off. Now that I think about it, he let Aaron off a lot, man. And I guess he couldn't really, because Aaron is supposed to be the priest and the head of the priesthood, it would be a bad look to like doing. I mean, now that I think about it, no, he didn't let Aaron off. Now that I think about it, Aaron lost them children. He lost them kids. He lost his sons. I don't know how much more you could take from a man or do to a man by taking away their sons. And this was he took away his sons, when they did that, they lit that fire. And this he may have took them away based on what Aaron did as well himself, by molding that calf and lying about it. Putting together that molded calf and lying about it, talking about he threw the gold in and the calf came out. No, you molded that calf, you made that calf what it was. You know what I'm saying? But he told Moses, like, no, I threw the gold into the fire, and what came out was a calf. No, you put that joint together, like. So that may have caught up with him when, that may have got his sons, knocked off as well. And Miriam, this was her punishment. Since Aaron had enough, it took enough of a beating, even though he was wrong for challenging Moses with their sister, he lost his children. So that was enough for him. Miriam didn't get she didn't get her discipline. You know what I mean? She didn't get her discipline. And this was her discipline, was, leprosy. You know what I mean? Verse 12, please do not let her be as one dead when coming out of its mother's womb, with our flesh half consumed. So this is, this is the parents of Miriam. Her flesh looked like it was half consumed. Verse 13, and Moshe cried out to Yahuwah, saying, "O El, please heal her, please." So, Moses, he don't Moses. One thing we have to learn about Moses, man, that the Most High loved the most was his humility. Like this chapter said, he was the most humble man in his time, at the time. The most humble individual on earth at this time. Just like this chapter clearly says in verse 3, chapter 12 of Numbers, verse 3. And the man Moses was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. So this is what the Most High loved about Moses. This is what the Most High loved about Moses the most. Is his humility. So this is why it was easy for Moses to not be vengeful or bitter or petty and try to get basically not ask the Most High for help for his sister. Like, and we have to learn from this because most people are petty. Most people are vengeful. Most people seek revenge and get back and instant get back. Instant revenge, instant want to see people suffer who made them feel some kind of way. And this is why most people aren't Moses. Most of us aren't Moses and not nowhere near like him. And this is why most of us can't hear and won't see God, can't see God, don't see God, don't hear God, don't know where to find him. Because we can't humble ourselves. We can't forgive. We can't, we gotta take vengeance, or we gotta, we gotta find ourselves, holding a grudge. That's our problem. Me, myself included. Someone offends me, it's our natural flesh instinct. It's our natural flesh instinct to want to offend them. Me being knowledgeable of it, I put as much as I can. I suppress that urge as much as I can, which we all should. But I really can be better. I really can do better. You have people that are close to us that makes it really tough, makes it really hard. But Moses, even though his sister and his brother was challenging him and saying, basically coming at him because of him being with a Cushite woman, coming at him because I guess they felt like he wasn't the only one that God speaks to, coming at him, and they were coming at him for all this. But Moses like, man, listen, man, like she's my sister. Even though y'all was just coming at me, I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to ask the Most High to help her. I'm going to ask the Most High. I'm going to pray that the Most High help her out of this leprosy. And that's what he did. That's what he did. Verse 13, and Moses cried out to Yahuwah, saying, O El, please heal her. Please. Verse 14, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, if her father had put, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, if her father had put spit in her eye, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, if her father had put spit in her face, I'm still not reading this right. Forgive me. Verse 14. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, if her father had but spit in her face, would she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out of the camp 7 days, and after that, let her be readmitted. So he's like, yo, she got to go through the proper procedure, just like everybody else had to when they experienced leprosy. He's like, she's no different. She's not going to get immediate healing. No, she got to feel this. She got to know she was wrong, because if I give her immediate healing, she's not going to learn from what she just did. She's not going to learn to not do from what she's not going to be humbled by this experience if she's given immediate healing. And this is how most people, this is what most, I'm going to go there. This is what a lot of women need, most women need. It's hard to humble a woman. It's hard to make a woman know she was wrong, to be honest. Women are strong. Women are strong-minded. Women are very prideful, and they don't, they stand on business. Women stand on business. So like, this is part of the whole situation, you know what I mean? That Moses, the Most High was making a point like, yo, she's not gonna be humbled by this. She has to feel this. She has to let this sink in. She has to know she was wrong. Like, she has to know, this can't be done again. This can't happen. So this is why he had her go through the process like everyone else when they need healing from leprosy. Be shut out the camp in 7 days, gotta wait 7 days. Verse 15, and Miriam was shut out of the camp 7 days, and the people did not set out until Miriam was readmitted. Verse 16, and afterwards the people departed from Hatzroth, and they camped in the wilderness of Paran. So, yeah. I'm not sure if she even regained her skin. I'm not sure if her tone returned. That's another thing. It didn't say this. That's something interesting. Chapter 13, verse 1. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, verse 2, send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Yisrael. Send one man from each tribe of their father, every one a leader among them. Verse 3. And by the mouth of Yahuwah, Moshe sent them from the wilderness of Paran, all of them men who were heads of the children of Israel. So this was the Most High's idea, to send men to spy out the land of Canaan. This was the Most High's idea. Verse 4, and these were their names from the tribe of Reuben. Shammua, son of Zakar. Verse 5, from the tribe of Shimon, Shaphat, son of Hori. Verse 6, from the tribe of Yehuda, Caleb, son of Yephuneh. Verse 7, from the tribe of Yizakar, Yigal, son of Joseph. Verse 8, from the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun. Verse 9, from the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu. Verse 10, from the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Zodi. Verse 11, from the tribe of Joseph, from the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, son of Zusi. Verse 12, from the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gamali. Verse 13, from the tribe of Asher, Shethor, son of Mikael. Verse 14, from the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, son of Wabshi. Verse 15, from the tribe of Gad, Gauel, son of Maki. Verse 16, these are the names of the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land. And Moshe called Hoshea, the son of Nun, Yehoshua. So that's what Moses called Yehoshua. He called him Joshua. So his name was Joshua's name was Hoshea, the son of Nun. But Moses called him Yahushua. Interesting, huh? Verse 17, and Moshe sent them to spy out the land of Canaan and said to them, go up here into the south and go up to the mountains. Verse 18, and see what the land is like and the people who dwell in it, whether strong or weak, whether few or many. That's what they were seeking out. If they were strong or weak, few or many. Verse 19, and whether the land they dwell in is good or evil, whether the cities they inhabited are in camps or strongholds. So that's the information that they were to collect. Verse 20, and whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are fortresses there or not. More information that they were to gather. And you shall be strong. This is what he told them. You should be strong and bring some of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the season of the first fruits of grapes. So this was the timing of grapes being, harvested. Verse 21. So they went up and spied out the land from the wilderness of Zin as far as Rehob, near the entrance of Hamath. Verse 22. And they went up through the south and came to Hebron, and Ahiman, Shishai, and Tameh, the descendants of Anak, were there. The descendants of Anak were there. Now Hebron had been built 7 years before Zoan in Mitzrayim. Verse 23. And they came to the Wadi Eshcol and cut down from there a branch with one cluster of grapes. And they bore it between two of them on a pole. Also of the pomegranates and figs. So they didn't just get grapes, they got the pomegranates and the figs. Verse 24, and that place was called the Wadi Eshcol because of the cluster which the men of Israel cut down from there. Verse 25, and they returned from spying out the land after 40 days. Verse 26, and they went and came to Moshe and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. And they brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. Verse 27, and they reported to him and said, we went to the land where you sent us, and truly it flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. Verse 28, but the people who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are walled, very great. And we saw the descendants of Anak there too. Verse 29, the Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, while the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of Jordan. Verse 30, and Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once. And take possession, for we are certainly we are certainly able to overcome it. Verse 31, but the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. Verse 32, and they gave the children of Israel an evil report. An evil report of the land which they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone as spies is a land eating up its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great size. So this is the bad report. We have to keep in mind this doesn't mean what they said was true. It's at least what these men are saying that came with Caleb. Caleb, what he's seen, he didn't see what they were describing. He's seen that these people were able to be had, that he was seeing. These people, we can have these people. You know, we can make this land ours. We can overcome it. They were trying to convince the people this was clearly a bad report, and it said, and they gave the children of Israel an evil report. So an evil report would be like, yo, like you're lying. You're lying about what you're saying. You're lying about what you've seen. So one with discernment and one with, you know, only one with discernment have to take away with this verse, take away from this verse that this was a lie. This was a false report. This was an evil report and a false report. Like this is what they said. And they gave the children of Israel an evil report of the land which they had spied out, saying, the land through which, this is what they said. This was the lie. This was the false report. The land through which we have gone as spies is a land eaten up its inhabitants. It's like the land is eating up people. The land ain't, that's not what Caleb seen. And all the people whom we saw in it are men of great size. That's not what Caleb seen. Caleb didn't see this. But yet these people, they were saying this to the children of Israel and Moses and everybody to scare them. Verse 33, and we saw their Nephilim. This is a lie. Sons of Anak and of the Nephilim. And we were like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we were in their eyes. This is a false report. This is an evil report. This is not what they seen. I think they gassed that up. They didn't see giant people. They didn't see giant people. And to explain their cluster of grapes, it might have been a good cluster. It may not necessarily been giant grapes. It might just been a good amount of grapes. It was a good cluster that they needed to put it on a pole for two people to carry. That's how much was on that cluster. Doesn't mean it was food for grapes for giants, and it doesn't mean that they seen giant people, because this was an evil report. Keep in context. This was an evil report, and an evil report is likely to be a false report. An evil report is likely to be a false report. Chapter 14, verse 1. Then all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and people wept that night. Verse 2, and all the children of Israel grumbled against Moshe and against Aaron, and all the congregation said to them, if only we had died in the land of Mizraim, or if only we had died in the wilderness. So they stirred up the people, and this is down the people who are discouraged and scared, and you know what I mean? So this is what this false report did. Verse 3, and why is Yahuwah bringing us in this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and children should become a prey? Would it not be better for us to turn back to Mizraim? These are the questions that they're asking again. Verse 4, and they said to each other, let us appoint a leader and let us turn back to Mizraim. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go again. Now they want to appoint a leader. They want to replace Moses. Verse 5, then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. Verse 6, and Yehoshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Yephuneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their garments. Verse 7, and they spoke to the congregation. They spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, the land we possessed through, the land we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. So now here's the truth coming out. It's a good land. It's not inhabiting the people. It's not inhabiting the people like they lied and said. Verse 8, if Yahuwah has delighted in us, then he shall bring us into the land and give it to us, a land which is flowing with milk and honey. See, this is the positive, report. This is the verse 9. Only do not rebel against Yahuwah, nor fear the people of the land, for they are bread. Their defense has turned away from them, and Yahuwah is with us. Do not fear them. See, this is the courage instilled in these in Caleb and Joshua. Verse 10, but all the congregation said to stone them with stones. Wow. This is how they responded to these words, these words of encouragement and encouragement. Then the steam of Yahuwah appeared in the tent of appointment before all the children of Israel. Here we go. Most High had enough, seen enough, had enough, heard enough. Verse 11, and Yahuwah said to Moses, how long shall I be scorned by these people? Here we go. And how long shall I not be trusted by them? Violet. With all the signs which I have done in their midst. Like, after everything that I've shown them, after everything I've demonstrated, like, these people are still doubtful, stiff-necked, and rebellious. Verse 12, let me strike them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and make of you a nation greater and mightier than they. So this was the Most High's decision. This is what the Most High wanted to do. He wanted to start new. He wanted to do away with the whole children of Israel because of their stubbornness and their cowardness and their doubt. Verse 13, and Moshe said to Yahuwah, then the Mizraim should hear it, for by your power you brought these people up from the mist. And they shall say to the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, Yahuwah, are in the midst of these people, that you, Yahuwah, are seen eye to eye, and that your cloud stands above them, and you go before them in a column of the cloud by day and a column by fire by night. Now, if you shall unalive these people as one man, then the nations which have heard of your report shall speak, saying, because Yahuwah was not able to bring this people to the land which he swore to give them, therefore he slew them in the wilderness. So, wow, Moses was making points, man. He basically, that was the point that he made to the Most High himself. The reasoning. This was the Most High reasoning with, this was Moses reasoning with the Most High. And it was a valid point. Like, how would it look that you brought these people out of Israel, out of Egypt, just to do away with them? That would go. That would be bad for the brand of your name. That wouldn't be a good look on the brand that you're trying to build in your name, in the reputation that you're trying to build on the earth. That wouldn't be a good look. Thanks to Moses. Verse 17, and now I pray, let the power of Yahuwah be great as you have spoken, saying, verse 18, Yahuwah is patient and of great loving commitment, forgiving crookedness and transgression, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation. Moses know how to speak to the Most High, man. This is why Moses knew how to reason with the Most High, man. And that's what sets Moses apart from all others, because he spoke to Moses. He spoke to the Most High as if the Most High was his friend. And I believe it's somewhere in the scriptures it says something like that. As one speaks to a friend. He spoke to the Most High as one speaks to a friend. Verse 19, please forgive the crookedness of this people, according to the greatness of your loving commitment, as you have forgiven this people from Mitzrayim even until now. So this was his plea to the Most High. Like, let's think about this. Let's not, let's think about how this would look. This would be a bad look. Moses was speaking to him like a PR. This wouldn't look good for you in public. Verse 20, and Yahuwah said, I shall forgive according to your word. Come on, man. Nobody had the pull like Moses, man. Nobody had the pull with the Most High like Moses did. Moses presented his case to the Most High. And Most High, it made sense to him. And Most High granted it. And Yahuwah said, I shall forgive according to your word. Verse 21, but truly as I live, and all the earth is filled with the esteem of Yahuwah, for none of these men who have seen my esteem and the signs which I did in Mitzrayim and in the wilderness, and have tried me now these 10 times, and have disobeyed my voice, shall see the land of which I swore to their fathers, nor any of those who scorn me see it. So that was the Most High response, like, yo, they won't go unpunished. They won't see this land because they didn't believe in me. They weren't loyal to me, and they just had doubts. So therefore, they're not worthy to see the land. Verse 24, but my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him and has followed me completely, I shall bring into the land where he went, and he and his seed shall inherit it. Verse 25, since the Amalekites and the Canaanites are dwelling in the valley. Turn back tomorrow and set out into the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds. Verse 26. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe and said to Aaron, saying, verse 27, how long shall this evil congregation have this grumbling against me? I have heard the grumbling which the children of Israel are grumbling against me. Verse 28, say to them, as I live, declares Yahuwah, as you have spoken in my hearing, so I do to you. Verse 29, the carcasses of you who have grumbled against me are going to fall in this wilderness. All of you who were registered according to your entire number from 20 years old and above. So he's letting them know, like, yeah, you're done. You're done. Verse 30, none of you except Caleb, son of Yephuneh, and Joshua, son of Nun, shall enter the land which I swore I would make you dwell in. Verse 31, but your little ones, whom you said would become a prey, I shall bring in, and they shall know the land which you have rejected. Verse 32, but as for you, your carcasses are going to fall in this wilderness. Verse 33, and your sons shall be wanderers in the wilderness 40 years. And shall bear your whoring until your carcasses are consumed in the wilderness. So this is him explaining why they're going to be in the wilderness for 40 years, because he's going to do away with every last one of them. Verse 34, and according to the number of the days in which you spy out the land, 40 days, a 40 days, a day for a year. Wow. A day for a year. You are to bear your crookedness 40 years. And you should know my breaking off. So basically the time of days spent spying out this land, that's for every day will be a year, adding up to 40 years of them having to, deal with what bear their crookedness until they're eventually wiped out. Verse 35, I am Yahuwah, I have spoken, I should do this to all this evil congregation who are meeting against me. In this wilderness they are consumed, and they shall be unalived. Verse 36, and the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land, who returned and made all the congregation grumble against him by bringing an evil report of the land. Verse 37, even those men who brought the evil report about the land died by the plague before Yahuwah. Verse 38, of those men who went to spy out the land, only Yahushua son of Nun and Caleb son of Yephune remained alive. Verse 39, and when Moshe spoke these words to all the children of Israel, the people mourned greatly. Verse 40, and they rose up early in the morning and went up to the top of the mountain, saying, see, we have indeed sinned. It's too late for that. But we shall go up to the place which Yahuwah had spoken of. Verse 41, but Moshe said, why do you now transgress the mouth of Yahuwah? Since it does not prosper. Verse 42, it says, do not go up, lest you be smitten by your enemies, for Yahuwah is not is not in your midst. Verse 43, because the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword. Because you have turned away from Yahuwah, Yahuwah is not with you. Verse 44, but they presumed to go, of course, but they presumed to go up to the mountaintop, but neither the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah nor Moshe left the camp. Verse 45, so the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwelt in the mountains came down and struck them and beat them down even to Humar. Chapter 15, verse 1. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, verse 2, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you have come into the land of your dwellings, which I am giving you, verse 3, and you make an offering by fire to Yahuwah, an ascending offering, and of slaughtering to accomplish a vow, or as a voluntary offering, or in your appointed time, to make a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah from the herd of the flock. Verse 4, then he who brings near his offering to Yahuwah shall bring near a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil. Verse 5. And 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering you prepare with the ascending offering of the slaughtering for each lamb. Verse 6. Or for a ram you prepare as a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of the fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil. Verse 7. And the drink offering you bring 1/3 of a hin of wine and a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. Verse 8. And when you prepare a young bull as an ascending offering or as a slaughtering to accomplish a vow or a peace offering to Yahuwah. Verse 9, then shall be brought with the young bull a grain offering and 3/10 of an imph of fine flour mixed with half a hin of oil. Verse 10, and bring as a drink offering half a hin of wine as an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. Verse 11, this is what is done for each young bull, for each ram, or for each lamb or young goat. Verse 12, according to the number that you prepare, so you do for each one according to their number. Verse 13, let all who are native do so with them in bringing near an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. Verse 14, and when a stranger sojourns with you, or whoever is among you through your generation, and would make an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah, as you do, so he does. Verse 15, one law is for you of the assembly and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a law forever throughout your generation. Verse, a law forever throughout your generation, as you are, so is the stranger before Yahuwah. Verse 16, one Torah and one right ruling is for you and for the stranger who sojourn with you. There you go. Verse 17, and Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Verse 18, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you come into the land to which I bring you. Verse 19, then it shall be when you eat of the bread of the land that you present a contribution to Yahuwah. Verse 20, present a cake of the first of your dough as a contribution of the threshing floor you presented. Verse 21, of the first of your dough you are to give to Yahuwah a contribution throughout your generation. And when you sin by mistake and do not do all these commands which Yahuwah has spoken to Moshe, and when, not if, when, not if, when. Verse 23, verse 22, and when you sin by mistake and do not do all these commands which Yahuwah has spoken to Moshe, verse 23, all that Yahuwah has commanded you by the hand of Moshe from the day Yahuwah have commanded and onward throughout the generation. He didn't say if, he said when. Verse 24, then it shall be, if it is done by mistake, without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall prepare one young bull as a sin offering, as a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah, a grain offering, a drink offering according to the right ruling, and one male goat as a sin offering. Verse 25, then the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the children of Yisrael, and it shall be forgiven them, for it was by mistake. And they shall bring their offering, an offering made by fire to Yahuwah, and their sin offering before Yahuwah for the mistake. Verse 26, and it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the stranger who sojourns in their midst, because all the people did it by mistake. Verse 27, and if a being sins by mistake, then he shall bring a female goat a year old as a sin offering. Verse 28, and the priest shall make atonement for the being who strays by mistake, when he sins by mistake before Yahuwah, to make atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. These are mistakes, by the way. Verse 29, for him who does whatever by mistake, for him who does whatever by mistake, there is one Torah, both for him who is native among the children of Israel and the stranger who sovereigns in the midst. Verse 30, but the being who does whatever defiantly, whether he is native or stranger, he reviles Yahuwah, and that being shall be cut off from among the people. So this is, when they do it defiantly. This is one thing to sin by mistake, is another to sin defiantly. Verse 31, because he has despised the word of Yahuwah and has broken his command, that being shall certainly be cut off. His crookedness is upon him. At least he gets to live, but he's cut off. He's cut off. Verse 32, and while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath. Verse 33, and those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moshe and to Aaron and to all the congregation. Verse 34, and they put him under guard because it had not been declared what should be done to him. Verse 35, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, the man shall certainly be put to be unalive. And all the congregation stoning him with stones outside the camp. Verse 36, and all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him with stones as Yahuwah commanded Moshe, and he was unalive. Verse 37, and Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, make tzitzis. Make tzitzis on the corners of their garments throughout their generation, and put a blue cord in the tzitzis of the corners. Verse 39, and it shall be to you for a tzitzit, and you shall see it, and shall remember all the commands of Yahuwah, and shall do them, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went whoring. This is the purpose of the tzitzits. The task was the tzitzits. It's for you to see them and remember all the commands of Yahuwah, and shall not do. You should remember all the commands of Yahuwah and shall do them. This is what seeing the tzitzis will cause you to remember the commands and do the commands. And not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went whoring. This is the purpose of the tzitzis. This is the purpose of wearing the tzitzis. This is probably why I should be wearing my tzitzis even more. This is probably why I find myself dwelling in, and getting distracted. Likely why all of us start, find ourselves dwelling and getting distracted. Because we're not wearing our tzitzis. Verse 40, so that you remember and shall do all my commands, and be set apart unto your Elohim. Verse 41, I am Yahuwah, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim to be your Elohim. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. That completes the reading of the book of Numbers, chapter 12 to chapter 15. I'm going to close this live out, and I'm going to jump back on reading the prophets. If you're able to return, y'all bless. If not, may y'all bless as well. Until next time, peace, love, Shabbat shalom, love and peace.